Welcome to week 3 of the VG Caster Cup. I'm Jake, captain of the 5-move Volcaronas, and we are playing Ben Kuryaku and the Sinister Sableyes this week. Now, we had a bit of a rough match against Sierra last week, and I hope to turn it around going into week number 3. We are 1-1, hoping to get back in the win column for this week of the tournament. You might notice the 6 Pokemon I have are the same 6 that I did bring last week against Sierra. But you will also notice as we go through this video that it is a much different team in some of the abilities and move choices. You might be able to pick one out right off the bat here for this Zoom reel. But before we jump into my team, let's take a quick look at Ben's. The obvious kind of elephant in the room on this team, the Dondozo Tatsugiri, a well-known combination. We somehow allowed Ben to get both of those during the draft, so maybe that was a mistake on our part, but now we have to deal with the consequences here. Some other things, obviously, Ursaluna Blood Moon, a very, very powerful Pokemon. The Sinistra is very strong at support. I wouldn't be surprised to see that come just because it's so good at redirection with Rage Powder. Hospitality is a great ability. We also saw it get 3 of the top 4 teams at the Pittsburgh Regionals very recently, and so a lot of utility there. And some pretty strong Pokemon there too. Cinderace has a lot of cool offensive options. Toxicroak is a reasonable threat to my team. Some of my best Pokemon are weak to either fighting or poison, so that could come along as well. Grimmsnarl, very well-known support Pokemon. Charjabug is there for battery. That was actually something I considered drafting towards the end of the draft, but Ben was able to pick it up first. So really well-rounded team from Ben, I think. So I had to make a little bit of maybe some bold choices with my team building this time around. Starting off with this Azumarill, of course, Terra Poison, I think, is one of its better defensive types. And I think specifically in this case, I was hoping to resist any kind of random poison move, especially like Toxicroak, but like Cinderace, I believe, gets Gunk Shot, which could be a bit scary. The Grimmsnarl, if it is attacking with Spirit Break, I can just kind of sit in front of it. I don't have to worry about grass-type attacks because I am Sap Sipper on this Azumarill. So the poison isn't really for that, like for Flapple or Sinister, for example, but mainly for the Toxicroak and the possible Gunk Shot Cinderace. The moveset on Azumarill, it does in fact get Perish Song. It is a move that you will almost never see Azumarill use in standard VGC because Azumarill typically is a very powerful attacker with huge power, and there are generally better Pokemon to use Perish Song if you really want that move on your team. But in this case, I thought, hey, Azumarill, Water Fairy, pretty strong into Dondozo defensively. If I can catch like Dondozo Tatsugiri with a Perish Song, that could be really good for me. I wouldn't have to worry about dealing with it offensively. I can just kind of stall it out and let it get knocked out. Little small peek behind the curtain. I'm recording this part of it after I've already completed my battles with Ben, and because I kind of know what happens in these battles, I would like to clarify a mechanic that I had wrong. So I was under the impression that if the Dondozo and Tatsugiri had already combined, like Tatsugiri activates Commander, Dondozo gets the boost. If you use Perish Song after that, both Dondozo and Tatsugiri would be affected by it, which it was like the main reason I decided to go for this strategy. If I could get the Perish Song up, maybe stall out a couple turns, maybe take one turn to like set up with Golden Go, and then be ready with a nasty plot when something else comes in after the Dondozo and Tatsugiri get knocked out. It's like, all right, I'm going to be in great shape. I don't really have to worry about other things that can damage Dondozo and Tatsugiri with the rest of my team. So that did kind of inform my team building this week. And as I and you will find out at a certain point, maybe, no spoilers during this match, that is not how that works. If they've already combined, Dondozo gets affected by Perish Song, but Tatsugiri avoids it. And I didn't know that avoiding Perish Song was something you could do. So just in case you were considering using Perish Song in your team for your Dondozo Tatsugiri matchup, possibly reconsider, because I have made this mistake already and I don't want you to. Otherwise, though, I think looking at Ben's team, he doesn't really have great ways to damage a Sapsip or a Azumarill. Sinistra, Flapple, 2 grass types that otherwise would have decent matchups, but they just can't do any damage to it. And so I figured this would be a pretty good thing to just kind of stick on the field, get some knockoffs, with a little bit of utility on knockoff. Again, without huge power, it's not going to be doing any damage, but it's really just to get rid of items, maybe even scout for items. Then Whirlpool is another way that it can be doing a little bit of chip damage. You kind of have a pseudo Perish trap there as well, because Whirlpool will trap the target Pokemon on the field for the duration, and then you could either try to stall it out with Protect with the residual damage, or go for that Perish Song for a knockout. The Whirlpool Perish Song Protect was always going to be on the set. Knockoff could have been any number of things. If Azumarill had access to Toxic, it would have just been Toxic, but it doesn't learn that as of one of the past couple generations. I considered Helping Hand, but there wasn't necessarily something that really appreciated that damage boost on my team. So I was just like, knock off, get rid of items, what could go wrong? And then again, Terra Poison, mostly for that Toxicroak and Cinderace. The Leftovers item in this case, again, wrong button, where am I going? There we go. Leftovers in this case because I want to be sitting on the field protecting, getting residual damage with Whirlpool and the Perish Song counts. And then again, there just wasn't really a need for any kind of offensive item here. Moving down to number 2, Hydreigon. I went back to the choice specs this week. I figured there wasn't a ton on Ben's team that would be comfortably taking attacks from Hydreigon, and I also didn't necessarily need to have it with Protect to kind of get out of scary like pin positions. There isn't a ton on Ben's team that immediately threatens Hydreigon with like a knockout, so I could pretty safely just leave it on the field, go for some attacks. I do have Draco Meteor and Dark Pulse. I think that's going to be on every Hydreigon set, honestly. There might be some times where you can afford to drop one, but they had solid coverage into Ben's team. I really like the idea of Flash Cannon. Grimmsnarl otherwise is very strong into Hydreigon, obviously being immune to Dragon and double resisting Dark. And the combination of Terra Steel and Flash Cannon would allow it to threaten, if not a knockout, then just very heavy damage. And a steel type Pokemon with Levitate, also very strong into Ursaluna Blood Moon. You can't Terra Ghost against Blood Moon because the Mind's Eye ability allows it to still hit you with those normal type attacks. But if you're a Steel type that can't be hit by ground type attacks, you're doing pretty solid there as well. And then just U-Turn. I didn't feel the need for like a Fire type attack or any other kind of coverage there, and U-Turn's always just kind of nice for repositioning. Down to Talonflame. Again, more of a supportive set. There wasn't really anything on his team that I really wanted to try and like knock out through Focus Sash like a Whimsicott or Sneasler the past couple weeks, so I did go for Brave Bird. Will-O-Wisp was mainly to have a way to maybe mitigate some damage from Toxicroak or Greedent if he brought that. Even Cinderace after it changed types with Libero potentially. Braviary as well if that came, but I guess I wasn't too scared of that. It was kind of just there to give Talonflame something to do in more situations. I am like I think I'm almost max speed on this Talonflame, but then very little attack investment because my goal with Talonflame here was to just kind of let it be annoying and disruptive, which is what Taunt is for as well, looking at Sinistcha and Grimmsnarl. Those are two Pokemon that love using those status moves, and Taunt was there to shut them down. Of course, you're always going to have Tailwind with Talonflame. And then in this case, I'm holding the Covert Cloak. There's a couple Pokemon here that learned Fake Out, both Grimmsnarl and I'm 95% sure Toxicroak does. Don't quote me on that if I'm wrong. But another one of the situations where I didn't necessarily feel the need to have a different item, like safety goggles here for the Sinistcha's Rage Powder, maybe, but I just want to be taunting the Sinistcha anyway, so who really cares? Then Covert Cloak was just a solid option. Down to Golden Go. I am the Terra Water Grassy Seed Nasty Plot set this time around. I thought it looked pretty strong into Ben's team, specifically the Grassy Seed, because it kind of let it sit in front of all of these physical attackers without worrying too much, especially in conjunction with Terra Water. Like, you can just Nasty Plot in front of Cinderace, and even if it goes for the Pyro Balls, you're not going to be worrying too much about those. Looking back, I guess I don't want to spoil too much here, but the Grassy Seed I thought was a good idea, but maybe not as impactful into a team like Ben's, where the Blood Moon doesn't care about your defense and Dondozo kind of ignores your defense. But despite Dondozo attacking through that defense boost with Unaware, in my head I was using Perish Song, getting rid of Dondozo and Tatsugiri, and then I could Nasty Plot with the Golden Go at the same time, so that once I get knocked out, I can have my boosted Golden Go. You can even Perish Song with Golden Go on the field, and it won't be affected by it because of Good as Gold. So you can even just have Azumarill Golden Go out against Dondozo, go for the Perish Song and a Nasty Plot, do some Protect swapping, Fake Out with Grookey or Thwackey, and then you'll be good to go. And if I had that mechanic correct, or if my my interpretation of that mechanic was correct, I think it would have been much better. That's all I'll say for now. Down to Vivian. It's very similar to last week as well. It is the Friend Guard set. Instead of, I think it was Covert Cloak last week against Sierra, I just went for Focus Sash this time. That allowed me to go back to the like max speed, max special attack kind of set. Because the bug and flying coverage actually pretty decent here, especially flying. You know, Sinistra and Toxicroak, and I guess Flapple if that came, which I kind of doubted it would. Has some pretty good offense here. Even into something like Ursulina Blood Moon, I wanted a little bit more firepower to try and hit it on its weaker special defense side. I did stick with Friend Guard. Nice for the Golden Go and the Azumarill, both of which somewhat rely on their bulk with the setup that I have here. So no Compound Eyes meant no Hurricane. So we're back to air, continuing with Air Slash there. Terra Ghost, again, just kind of for random fake outs. I don't know that I ever would have wanted to Terrestrialize Vivian in this matchup, so I figured if there's any random situation where like I need to avoid a fake out to win, I can go for that Terra Ghost. But just not something I expect to come up, really. And then finally, we've got Thwackey. I believe last time I was the Focus Sash, I think against Sierra, I had the Focus Sash on Thwackey. And I had a more kind of fast, aggressive set with U-Turn. Still making use of Endeavor, of course. But at this time, I went with the Eviolite. Thwackey being a Stage 1 Pokemon instead of the fully evolved means that it can make use of this Eviolite. It's kind of like an Assault Vest, if Assault Vest also boosted defense, but could only be used on bad Pokemon. In this case, I wanted both Fake Out and Protect, so I couldn't use... I wanted to Protect specifically because part of my game plan here is to, again, go for that Perish Song, be able to stall out, set up the grassy terrain for the Grassy Seed for Golden Go. So kind of unlike Sierra, where Thwackey was largely there to kind of threaten the terrain and then maybe come, I was much more intent on bringing the Thwackey in this match, specifically for that Grassy Seed. Endeavor, again, is kind of its best damage option. Again, you somewhat rely on having taken some damage, but even if you use Endeavor from near full, Thwackey's HP stat is not great. I'm pretty sure I invested all of my EVs into defense and special defense here, so I didn't boost its HP at all if I could help it. And that was kind of Thwackey's main thing. Set up the grassy terrain, maybe get knocked out, maybe go for a fake out, maybe get an Endeavor off if you can. But it was largely there just as an enabler for Golden Go and like a kind of a stall option with that Perish Song. And so that's my team. Again, it is the same 6 Pokemon as last week. I don't foresee that being, the 6 I bring every week, but it just happened to be what I felt like was my best options these 2 weeks in a row. There's still some cool Pokemon on my team that I want to use. I think Scraggy and Dugtrio will both probably have their chance to shine at some point, because there's probably a few matchups where, either having that Arena Trap or that Intimidate will be really strong. But unfortunately, it hasn't happened just yet. So that's my team. Again, I'm 1-1, hoping for a win against Ben here to put me back in the positive record for the VG Caster Cup. We've got 7 weeks, though. Number 3 is coming up. Here we go. Okay, time to battle. Interested to see what Ben's going to bring here. I'm kind of hoping he brings the Dozugiri, because I would love to be able to cheese that with Azumarill, but let's find out. Exchange our terrors here. Okay, he does have them. Chargebug. Chargebug, a little concerning. Is this like special Dondozo or something? I can't really think of a great reason he would bring it otherwise for that battery ability. Cinderace, not surprising. I think that's probably going to be a little bit difficult to deal with. Kind of depends on the moveset. If it's got a fighting move or something, then Hydreigon's not super great into it. But otherwise, I'm pretty okay with this. This is okay for Golden Go, but maybe not as good of a matchup as I would have hoped for it. I wonder if I just go back to Talon Hydreigon, maybe take an early knockout or get a U-turn off. And then I can go into maybe Azumarill, maybe Golden Go based on what's out. This is hard. I think I want Hydreigon for sure. I think I have to go with Talonflame with it, just to give me a little bit of protection from a possible Cinderace. And I will bring Azumarill and I think Goldengo. Goldengo, even without the defense boost here, I think is fine. The only real physical attacker is going to be that Cinderace. And Turret Water should save me from that if I need it to. Am I surprised not to see anything? I guess maybe the Sinistcha, but I get why you wouldn't bring it against my team as well. Grimmsnarl or Saluna, that's fine. I don't mind that. He's almost certainly going to go for something like a Light Screen here. I think I'm okay just going straight for the taunt on Grimmsnarl and maybe just damage with Draco Meteor. I think that might be the best option here. Although if he does go for like Spirit Break or something, that could be pretty bad. I could Terra Steel. I don't know if I want to commit that right off the bat, but maybe that is my best option just because it prevents a lot of damage into the Hydreigon. Yeah, I'm just going to do it. I don't know if I have much to lose here. It prevents a possible like Spirit Break one-shot into the Hydreigon this turn. I'm happy to get the taunt off here. He likely isn't going for like Thunder Wave and Hydreigon or anything this turn, so I'm fine giving him, I guess, the chance to make that read. Misty Terrain. Oh, that's funny. That's even better than, well, I mean, not even better, but it is pretty good here, because it's going to lower the damage from any Dragon-type moves into grounded Pokemon. So this is not going to be a very powerful Draco Meteor, especially given the miss. A little bit unfortunate there. Hyper Voice doesn't do much either. I am wondering if that is Assault Vest because of that kind of lack of damage there. This is not a great spot to be in. I would have liked that damage on Draco, but I don't know that it would have done a ton. I think I'm just going to go for a Brave Bird. Actually, no, I should probably get a Tailwind up first, just in case. And then maybe I just swap into a not Azumarill, Goldengo. Just because Hydreigon won't be doing a lot here. Misty Terrain affects the target, it's not the user, so even though Hydreigon has Levitate, it's not touching the terrain. The Ursaluna is protected because of the Misty Terrain there. Vacuum Wave. So this is almost definitely a Assault Vest. I don't know if you have room for the Vacuum Wave otherwise. Spirit Break does come through. I don't love to see that because, again, it will lower my special attack here, but I think that was my best option in terms of a swap. Now I can just try and start getting some damage out with the Terra. It was Electric, Blood Moon, Grimmsnarl is Steel. So I'm kind of getting stuffed out pretty well here, huh? I almost want to go for like a Will-O-Wisp into Ursaluna just to get some chip damage going into it. This might be a little bit difficult. I am just gonna, I think I need damage into Grimmsnarl right now, so I'm gonna make it rain. See if he does opt to go for any Terras. Grimmsnarl swaps out, which I think I'm okay with. Stun Dozo. So if the... Oh, I just can't hit an attack, can I? Oh, of course. That was silly. That was really silly. That was really bad and really silly. Of course, it's blocked by the Misty Terrain. I am not thinking right now. All right. Okay. Well, this is now becoming quite difficult. It is Leftovers Dozo. That it's. I guess there was always a chance it was like a some kind of non-commander Tatsugiri set, but with the Leftovers, I think it's probably pretty likely. I do this thing where I just like don't really think about what I'm doing, and it clearly has not been working out so far. And Make It Rain also just did nothing. It's like a definitely confirmed Assault Vest at this point. So I'm going to have a hard time breaking through that. My physical attackers are like Talonflame, And I don't know. I timed out again, but I don't even know what I should have been doing there. Oh man. I'll get some damage here with Brave Bird, I guess, but that's just pathetic. Knock myself out. Golden Go almost definitely goes down here. I truly... Okay. What are my options here? I go into a Azumarill. Maybe I can like Whirlpool the Grimmsnarl, get some chip damage going with it. I'm pretty sure I have to just Dark Pulse the Ursaluna and hope that it gets knocked out. But man, I did not set myself up well here. I think next game I maybe need to go for like Vivian Golden Go and start like Nasty Plot friend guarding my way through this. And if he goes to the Dozo mode, I can pretty easily just go to Azumarill. I kind of doubt this KOs, especially if he's able to go for a light screen here. Yeah. I think I just knock off. I don't really want to give away that I have Whirlpool and Perish Song because I'm pretty sure this game is just lost. Maybe I get a flinch, but Covert Cloak. Okay, so it's not even like Clay. That's good to know, I guess. Blood Moon comes through here, just does a huge chunk. He will see the leftovers, but I don't know if that was avoidable at this point. In an ideal world, I would have just forfeited there, but we are not supposed to forfeit because like the number of KOs used is used for like tiebreakers and such. So I'll just keep using these moves again. I don't necessarily want to give anything else away. I'll get 1 KO at least with the Dark Pulse. Vacuum Wave. Not doing too much. That's good to know. I wonder if there's a world where I can possibly win this. I'm a little skeptical because he probably has the damage to get through Azumarill, even with the leftovers here. That was just not a smart beginning of that game, huh? I could have had a little bit more damage from Talonflame. Or just on anything else, really. Is there a chance I win this game? Is it worth revealing Perish Song? I honestly think the answer is no. No, I can't. He has 3 Pokemon. Of course I can't. I just have to not give anything up here. Because even if I go for Perish Song, like now, in Casually Tatsugiri, like, he's got Grimmsnarl. My Azumarill goes down the same time his Dondozo does. I would lose. So yeah, there's no point. Confirmed Commander, I suppose that's good to know. We will hopefully get to see a couple of the Dondozo's attacks here. That could give us a little info going forward. Special defense. Yeah, Heavy Slam. That's fine. Heavy Slam makes sense. Surely a water move. I could see it being Earthquake just because of the Golden Go. Dark Pulse just does nothing still. Oh man. I am not playing well in this first game, but that's fine. We can turn it around. Wave Crash, yeah. So it's going to be a loss. Fully deserved. I made some choices of all time during that game, and that's fine. I don't think either of us Terrestrialize, which is kind of funny, but I don't know that was anything else was expected there. I do have Thwackey if I ever need to overwrite Misty Terrain. That could be useful. I think this might just be a like Vivian angle where I could possibly go for something like Rage Powder to protect Golden Go from the Ursaluna. Hydreigon's going to be hard to use with that Light Screen and Misty Terrain. I think it might just be like Golden Go, Vivian, Thwackey, Azumarill. That could actually do some big damage, especially if I'm able to like preserve the Grassy Seed or the Vivian for later. Because my idea is that like if I can Perish Song next to Golden Go, my Golden Go won't be affected by it. I can maybe set up in front of the Dondozo and then give myself time such that like once the Dondozo goes down, I can just bring in Vivian and like Grassy or Make It Rain for the win. But that still would take some finagling. I'm hoping that if I just throw the Golden Go out first, it might force him to go into that Dondozo mode. And in doing so, allow me to bring in the Azumarill and Perish Song. So we'll see. The Dondozo's Terra is Steel, so it doesn't have anything like a Terra Grass or Electric Terra Blast or something to try and hit the Azumarill. Like, and I am Sap Sipper, so even if it was Grass, it wouldn't do much. This is what I was hoping for. I'm very okay with this lead. As the threat of Rage Powder here means he... I don't know if I want to count on him not going for a Earth Power here, but I think I might just want to get a little bit of damage with Air Slash, go for the Nasty Plot. If he does Earth Power, I think Friend Guard should be enough to keep me safe, and I always have Pollen Puff. No damage, no Prankster coming out from Grimmsnarl. I wonder if he went for like Spirit Break into Vivian, just to maybe get some damage out. Yeah, he did for sure. So if this is Hyper Voice, then Vivian likely goes down. Yeah, that's okay. I got my Nasty Plot, which is going to be nice. And now I can possibly start going for some like Fake Outs or Endeavors here. He is almost certainly going to be forced into the Dondozo on this turn. And Grassy Seed would have been nice against a different iteration of his team, but because he isn't really using anything that wants to be hitting me for physical attacks, it's not going to be super useful, I fear. I almost think I should go straight out to Azumarill and then go for a Make It Rain. I think the Ursaluna probably doesn't stay in here. Or actually, it could just go for a Terra. If it Terras, then I might just be screwed. We'll see. Get a Azumarill in. Dozo's a pretty safe swap here. Okay, happy with that. This means that I get to maybe fire off a Make It Rain. Best case would be he just double swaps. No, Light Screen. That's fine. Grimmsnarl might just go down, which would be really nice. No, it doesn't. That's okay, though. I still get a lot of damage into it, which will be helpful. I think he probably goes straight into Tatsugiri here, so I think I am just going to go for the Perish Song. What that will allow me to do is like get the Dondozo and Tatsugiri locked out immediately. I am going to protect Golden Go, I think, just because I don't want that much damage on it. I get a little bit of recovery back. Grimmsnarl goes away, so if this is Tatsugiri, I'm actually feeling pretty good about this. Okay. Okay, we're in an okay spot now. Especially if he targets the Golden Go with Wave Crash or something. I'll be very happy with that. He might not, just because Golden Go's not a huge threat, especially with the special defense boost, but we shall see. If he Terras, then I have to imagine he's going straight for that Heavy Slam, which might be difficult to deal with here. If Azumarill, I'm just max defense, max HP, defense boosting nature on Azumarill. If it does survive this Heavy Slam, I think there's an okay chance here. Okay, that's good. We get the Perish Song off. Now in 3 turns, Dozo and Giri will be knocked out. Tatsugiri avoided it. Oh. Wait a minute. Do I just have that mechanic wrong in my head? If Tatsugiri's already been swallowed, does it not get affected? Yeah. Oh. Oh, that's not good. That's very not good, actually. No, don't. Protect Azumarill. I think I swapped a Thwacky here. Oh, no. That was like my whole game plan. Because now I have to deal with the Tatsugiri still. This could be bad. This could be bad. I figured it would still like get affected by the Perish Song, just because it's like, you know, it's there. It can hear it. Is Dondozo's skin soundproof? Did he just read the switch there? Okay, yeah, this is doomed. I guess not doomed. I can fake out, swap to Golden Go. No, okay, this is still playable. I definitely just fake out the Dondozo here, swap to Golden Go. And then I can just try and win the game with Golden Go from there. The defense, the Grassy Seed boost isn't going to matter at all, obviously, because his last Pokemon are either Grimmsnarl, which doesn't, it's not going to be doing much damage at all, or special attackers. This actually, I am in a pretty good spot for Endeavor as well. I think I kept Endeavor. I'm pretty sure I kept Endeavor. I was iterating between Endeavor and U-Turn and Protect. I needed to pick 2 of the 3 of those. And it looks like I want to say I kept Protect, so that could be pretty good here in Endeavor. Okay, yeah. Okay. Even though that Perish Song didn't work as I would have hoped it would, this might not be the worst possible thing. It's also good to know Thwacky survives that Heavy Slam. That could be pretty important later on. So Dozo will get knocked out here, which, great. Again, I really wish Tatsugiri would have heard that as well. It's Fairy Terra. Light screen wears off. Huh. Huh. Ursaluna comes in, yeah. Do I Nasty Plot here? Can I take the Earth Power? I probably can. Do I like Endeavor the Ursaluna? Yeah, I think I need to. Okay, that's fine. Okay, I think I see my winning path here. I Nasty Plot here. Next turn, well, I Nasty Plot and I survive the Earth Power, which I'm pretty sure I will, if it's Assault Vest. I could have gone for my own... Oh, God, that's way too much damage. Oh, no. Why didn't I Terra? I was scared of a Blood Moon, I guess. That would have been silly. Yeah, this is bad. I think I have to just, like, protect... Ooh, I could knock off the Tatsugiri. I bet it's Choice Scarf. I bet that's, like, the only way I win here. But then, I mean, then the Ursaluna just fucking... Oh, no, it's not even Scarf. So it's just like timid. Okay, I ruined this. Well, I guess I didn't ruin it. Not knowing that mechanic is what got me. I ruined the first game. The first game was entirely my fault. But I don't know why I thought the Tatsugiri would still be affected by Perish Song after it had been swallowed by Commander. It just like never occurred to me that couldn't have been the case. I just got completely destroyed here. I did not have good game plans. I think I didn't account for the Assault Vest Ursaluna well enough. I probably needed at least one more physical attacker there. But good games to Ben. Just got me good. What can I say? After a win week 1, we're not doing super hot afterwards, but that's fine. We're learning and having fun as we go. Just I haven't built for like draft leagues in a long time, and so I think I need to get myself in a more proactive, maybe a different mindset for some of these draft matches. So we'll turn it around the next few weeks. It's only week 3 out of 7. We're 1 and 2, but we can get back to positive. So I'll see you next week for the next battle.